Hello, all my observant crow friends. We are headed to visit Fayetteville National Cemetery, first established here on the south side of town. One of the 14 original federal cemeteries authorized by Abraham Lincoln, June 10th, 1872. We're passing Meadow Street. Oh! Clock tower.
There's downtown square that way.
Yeah, that has
Feed and Foley. I want to go in there. That's cute.
I'll ask if they want to go to a haunted restaurant.
Where's that at?
A Fayetteville group of women organized the Southern Memorial Association to secure a final resting place for those Confederate soldiers who lost their lives in the battles of Fayetteville, Prairie Grove, and Pea Ridge. Many unknown, all heroes, fighting for country and service. Fayetteville was first settled by George McGarrah and his sons in 1828 as Washington County, being carved out of Lovely County. The town first known as Washington Courthouse changed to Fayetteville, named after a city of the same name in Tennessee. During the Civil War, Fayetteville was occupied by both sides, with the action of Fayetteville in April 1863. Most of the town was destroyed by the battles and only maintained by the military until 1868. And here we have come to Fayetteville National Cemetery, way down here in Arkansas. And I wanted to come here and pay tribute to a Medal Honor of Winner of World War II. And we're going to do a few honors and tributes to some fallen soldiers, unknown soldiers, and just the beauty of the place. Way down here in the South Mountain region of the Ozarks. We have come to Fayetteville National Cemetery to pay honor and tribute to FFC Clarence Barrel Craft, World War II Medal of Honor recipient. He received his medal from Harry S. Truman at the White House, October 12th, as a private first class, for his bravery in action on May 31st, 1945 in Okinawa, Japan. Clarence Barrel Craft's contribution to the campaign on Okinawa was much more far-reaching in consequence, for Hen Hill was the key to the entire defense line, which rapidly crumbled after his utterly fearless and heroic attack. Here's Clarence B. Craft. Medal of Honor SFC, U.S. Army, World War II, Korea, September 23rd, 1921 to March 28th, 2002. And his wife, Tamay B. Craft, November 13th, 1924, June 16th, 2015. Forever in our hearts. Very beautiful and quiet cemetery here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Revolutionary War Soldier Memorial. (1775 to 1783). These veterans of the American Revolution came to live and die in Northwest Kansas in memory of those soldiers who fought for American independence during the Revolutionary War. Benton County, Washington County, Thomas, Relin, the chosen few, dedicated to the brave men who survived their entrapment at the Chosin Reservoir, North Korea, in that bitterly cold winter of 1950, who refused to leave behind their heroes, the dead and wounded, who proved again what all veterans know, that freedom is not free. This tree, dedicated by the Veterans Administration in 1976 to America's Medal of Honor recipients who helped make this bicentennial observance possible by gallantry above and beyond the call of duty. At the beginning of the Civil War, Fayetteville was a prosperous town. Then, on April 18, 1863, the fierce fight of Fayetteville began, with Confederate General Cabell led 900 cavalry north from Ozark to attack. The attack surprised most of the Union soldiers who were enjoying a dance at a private home a few miles outside of town, while others slept. Yet they quickly recovered and with superior weapons pushed back the Confederate charge. The first burials were Union soldiers' remains, disinterred from the local battlefields of Pea Ridge, Prairie Grove, and Elkhorn Tavern, the greater portion of over 1,200 being of unknown soldiers. And here we have all the unknown soldiers. In honor of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to the United States of America and the families they left behind, the sacrifice will not be forgotten. The address by President Lincoln, the dedication of the Gettysburg National Cemetery, November 19th, 1863. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are not met a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so notably advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we were highly resolved that these dead shall not die in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Benjamin F. Killen, Private U.S. Army, Indiana, 1839 to 1898. Corporal Calvin J. Lester, Missouri, June 15th, 1830, August 27th, 1913, and his wife, Nancy, 1847 to 1914. 74 years. He recalled the highest price he was bought for was $1,600. His last owner, Mr. Billy Moore of Pans, Texas, who he followed to Fayetteville. Sam married former slave Martha. They lived for over 100 years. Mr. Young built a home on Mountain Street that was destroyed by a tornado in 1880. He has an unmarked grave, but his son Sam Young Jr. does have a gravestone. Otis Parker, 1890 to 1976. Mr. Parker was a well-known horseman, a self-taught veterinarian, and rodeo trick rider in the 1930s. He was highly respected and featured in a Northwest Arkansas Times article on October 6, 1971. I will definitely return a visit to Oak Cemetery. I lost a portion of beautiful footage. Love and light to all these heroes and beautiful souls. Thank you for watching. Bountiful blessings to you all.